Says it's almost live.
Almost
Says we're
live.
live. There we go. We are live.
Cool.
All right. I'm gonna hit play on the oh, sorry, I said to share it first. Share audio. There we go. Hit and go.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
There we go. I'm wearing my dunce cap today.
Looks like a birthday. We'll
It
call
was a
it
birthday hat, yeah. When we went out and we did for my birthday in December, we did went and got as many free treats as we could. So I
So
had my birthday hat, so I didn't have
did
to
you
tell
like,
everyone it was my
my
birthday.
list?
What's that?
You like my list I sent you?
Did you send me a list? When did you send me a list?
A list of birthday things to go after.
When did you send that?
Probably on WhatsApp. We have this giant list of birthday things to go after.
Oh,
So
did you send it to me before or after my birthday?
it was afterwards. Like we did this for my wife, and so we run around on her birthday and just find a bunch of crazy birthday things.
Huh.
I'll find it again and I'll resend it to you again. But
Send it to
yeah,
me. Yeah, we gotta compare lists because I thought I had a pretty good list.
there's a quite extensive list. It took her like a couple of weeks to get them all. So
Yeah,
this is
some of them are coupons that you can use later, which is good. You don't have to do it all
yeah,
in
exactly.
one
Some of
day.
them are coupons. Some of them are only good on the day of. Some of them are good the week of. Some of them are good the week before. Some of them are good the week after. Right. So it's just like, okay, no, let's
I
stick to.
I had yeah, I had to skip the free Dairy Queen. I did not have room. I was so full. That was one I was most looking forward to, but I was saving it for the end of the day, and by the end of the day, I was just like, no more. Stop.
Remember we talked about this. Remember Menchie's guy, the grumpy
Oh
guy?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, grumpy Menchie's guy.
I got to Menchie's, which is good. I mean, that's as good as Dairy Queen. Menchie's or Dairy Queen, if you had to pick one, when one
Menchie's
disappears.
because Menchie's has mochi.
Okay. I'm not really familiar with mochi is.
Mochi is the
So
squishy rice puddingy stuff that you can put in the yogurt.
not a draw for me. Not a draw, but okay.
So I don't know. I like it in my bubble tea. So there you go.
Oh
So
yeah. Is it the same? Is that the
this is the
same thing as
first
what's in a bubble tea?
yeah, there's mochi that goes in bubble tea, and there's mochi that so yeah, yeah.
All
No, it's
right.
not as the boba, the bubbles, but it's a different
Oh,
thing. This is
oh,
weird
thank
because
you.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell camera to look at because now there's two cameras pointing at me, and I'm not really sure which one to look at. So
Well, whatever you're looking at right now is there you go. Now you're looking at me.
this one would look as the other one, but I'm like, okay, well, all right, cool. So there we go. So
You're
we're
looking at
gonna
me
see
now.
how this pans out. I don't know if my camera guys can get mad at me or not, but we will have soon two angles to choose from, and there's a green screen behind me on the camera. So we're gonna see how this pans out. But yeah,
Nice. How you doing, Earl? It feels like it's been a long time since we did one of these.
well,
Is
it's
it only
been 2 weeks because the vote was last week.
what was last like? Did we it was the boat the only day we skipped? Feels like we
Uh,
skipped more
the
than that.
last one before that, we actually we were there, and then after
Really?
before that it was just Christmassy stuff and
Yeah.
holiday stuff. So the last
Maybe it's
one was 14 days ago exactly. So January
okay.
10th. So
Maybe it's just been a very busy couple of weeks.
yeah, so that's a good thing. So
Yeah. Did,
yes,
what's that?
you've been good, I guess, since it's
Yeah.
only 2 weeks, and you're like, hey man, it's been forever. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah. No, life's good. Business is really picking up. Got a couple more potential clients coming in.
it's a good thing to
And
have.
yeah, how was hardcore networking on the boat with the snowshoers and the sled
So
dogs?
anybody
Hmm.
crazy enough to come to the boat while it was snowmageddon in Vancouver.
Mhm.
Like the whole city shuts down if you get like an inch or two of snow. We had like a foot. So
Yeah,
uh,
it was crazy.
so, so yeah. But once you got to the main roads, it wasn't that bad, right? So
Mhm.
but we saw people like sideways stuck in their garage, couldn't get out, da, 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 da. So
Yeah,
people who sent their regrets and they're like, we can't get out, we tried, now we have to get towed.
yeah.
So it's like, you know what?
I'm
That's
I'm
fine.
not even that hardcore. I didn't even try. I was like, nope,
I know you looked outside, saw a foot of snow, and went, nope.
nope. Well, we were driving home from Richmond on the previous Snowmageddon, which was only like an inch of snow.
Yeah.
But it was like freezing temperatures that caused ice on the roads. From Richmond to New West took us 3 hours.
Oh my gosh. I liked your comment the other day though. It's like I want to fight people with sticks. I don't want to fight other drivers on the snow. So
Yeah, exactly. For those of you who don't know, that we do stick fighting, martial arts training. That's what Earl's referring to. I
there you
don't
go.
randomly fight people with sticks,
Or do we?
or do it. Well, I fight people with sticks with purpose. I don't do it randomly.
There you go. But they also have sticks, so it's fair. So
Yeah. So what about Smellmageddon? We had Snowmageddon, then we had Smellmageddon.
oh my gosh, yeah, the refinery incident. So yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I couldn't smell it from this area, but yeah.
We got to cancel again. We were supposed to go to a book launch of a friend of ours downtown, and we're like, nah, we're good.
No, yeah, I heard
Stayed
downtown.
out in New West.
I heard downtown was pretty bad. So
Yeah, we got a whiff of it like once, and then just that whiff was enough to make our throats sore.
yeah,
We actually got when there's been when there's a forest fire and you get that feeling in the back of your throat. We had
Yeah.
that just off like a barest whiff of this stuff. So God knows. Some guy said it went down to like the 6th floor of his parking garage.
holy cow.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Well,
imagine.
apparently it's heavier than air. So actually the 6th floor is going to be worse than the ground floor.
Oof.
And that's why it didn't just blow away or dissipate. It's actually was some
heavy.
people were smelling it as far as Nanaimo.
Holy cow. That's pretty
Yeah.
far. So
Pretty bad.
there you go.
All our
right.
fans tuning in from outside of Vancouver have no idea what we're talking about. There was an accident at a refinery and it off-gassed enough to spread a burning rubber smell across the entire city.
Yeah, no kidding.
But it's okay. The authorities have assured us there's nothing to worry about. So
Don't worry.
that settles that. Take a deep, yeah, right? Anyway, that's good. That's a whole nother topic.
Can we check in on our AI overlords?
On our AI overlords. Nothing else you want to bring? No news you want to bring to everyone's attention before we dive right into it?
Before we
Without
dive
delay?
right in, or die right in from the smell. But
Oh my
you
God.
know.
All right. So, as my today's topic, as my pal Albert back here will attest, is productizing your knowledge. Although maybe he's not the best example. He didn't really productize his knowledge.
Yeah, sort of. There's a bazillion books that sell all this crap, I guess. So
That's
this is
true.
after he died, though. But yeah,
Yeah, somebody else productized his image.
yeah, no kidding.
But anyway, he's the epitome of knowledge. What's the word? There's a word, the shibboleth? No, synecdoche, one of those words. Symbolic embodiment of knowledge.
Fair enough.
And we're discussing today productizing knowledge. This is kind of interesting. You said this was a topic. You've been working with people on this.
Well, because 5 people asked me for this in the last week, and I'm like, "The hell is going on? Why does everybody want this?" So, yeah. So productizing.
So before we jump into it, tell us what is productizing knowledge. What do you mean?
So
define it.
There's people who are really damn good at a thing. Like let's say you're really good at baking cakes, as an example, and that's one of them actually. So one of them is a baker. She runs a bakery, and she's really damn good at baking cakes. And one of the things that she wanted to try was to give directions on how to bake cakes a la video, right? So instead of just having a dry recipe where it's just like, here it is, have at her, it's her walking and talking through the recipe while doing it, and then telling stories behind it, and who enjoyed this and why they liked it, and blah blah blah. And that course itself turned into something more fun, and that's what she wanted to productize. So she wanted to productize her knowledge, turn it into a recipe book, but turn it into an actual like video series of here's how to bake stuff, right? Because it'll say, in the instructions, do this thing, and it's like, and if you're not a cook or you're not a baker, you have no idea what the hell this thing means, right?
Right.
And so
zest the lemon.
Yeah, zest the lemon. And if you don't know what a lemon zest is, you're like, you've never seen it before. You're like, oh, that's where that flavor comes from, the skin.
Yeah.
Right. My child is weird. He'll actually just eat the lemon skin and all. So
your kid eats the lemon skin?
The whole just pops it in his mouth. I'm like, all right.
Are you sure your child hasn't been replaced with some kind of alien that doesn't understand how food works on Earth?
No, he just wants the fiber and then some fiber.
Oh, yeah. It just seems like a cut from episode of Mork and Mindy or something where he just eats the lemon whole, thinking that's what you're supposed to do on Earth.
No, it's a slice, so it's not like you just apples
Oh,
the day, right? That
okay, that's what I was picturing, just chowing down on it like it was an apple.
so yeah, but there you go. So
Okay, we got way off topic there. So, so my girlfriend, when we're watching a movie, can immediately recognize that that person who came in and said one line was the same person that said one line on a TV show she watched when she was a kid. How do we productize that knowledge?
you turn it into a trivia.
Sure, what do you mean?
Instead of like a trivia, like turn it into a trivia game,
Oh, okay,
right?
there
Because
you
if
go.
it's
Like a BuzzFeed article, can you recognize?
a type of thing, who, and then you got like who said it first, and then you do the dress thing where it says who said it best. So instead of who wore it best, who said it best, right? So if two people said the exact same line at the exact same thing, it's like, oh, here you go. Well, who delivered it better?
All right, cool.
And
Okay,
that
so we'll begin monetizing that knowledge immediately. But let's go over to our AI overlord, see what they have to say today. So the
sounds good.
question you asked is, as a marketing expert, what are 3 benefits to productizing my knowledge as a business and selling information versus just selling a normal product or service? What are 2 things to avoid when utilizing the strategy? And what's 1 red hot tip to succeed in this space? Ooh, this is it's very esoteric, isn't it? It's very like to have a computer understand a sentence with that many sort of self-referential, reflexive passages.
The
Very
hilarious
impressive.
is it did a really good job of it, actually. I skimmed through it just to make sure it was on topic, and it was like pretty bang on. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, I was building a website this week and I found myself being like, all right, I got to write a paragraph here. And I was like, what am I doing? Crack open AI. Hey, AI, introduce, if I'm a business owner and I have this many skills and I've had this kind of experience, give me a paragraph introducing myself. It was great. Just had to delete one part. It was fine.
I've been feeding it people's resumes, and I've been
Yeah.
feeding it people's LinkedIn profiles.
Okay. And then it's churning out bios.
Yep, all day long, super fast.
I feel like this, we could just turn this entire show, every episode, into just let's talk about AI. It would still be entertaining and enthralling. All right, so here is what AI has to say about the benefits of productizing your knowledge. Number 1, scalability. Information products such as ebooks, online courses, and software tools can be created once and sold repeatedly with minimal ongoing effort. The scalability allows you to reach a larger audience and potentially generate passive income.
So absolutely. So there's a difference between growth and scale. The problem with growth is that when your business grows, you also increase costs, right? So if I'm selling widgets and I have widgets in a warehouse and I sell more widgets, I end up having to get a bigger warehouse because I don't have enough room for all my widgets. And bigger the warehouse means bigger the costs, which means that, oh, well, I need more staff now because, one staff guy can't run from one end of the warehouse to the other and still be efficient in shipping things. So now we need 5 staff guys. So as you start to grow this thing, that growth model, takes up more time, energy, money, blah, blah, blah. Whereas a scaling model means that you can make it grow without having to incur all those extra costs. So this thing is absolutely correct. So information products like ebooks and blah, blah. Well, how much does it cost to deliver an ebook? Nothing, right? How much does it cost to deliver a video on an online? Nothing, right? At the end of the day, like you build a software tool, you're paying for the server. How much is that? Pennies, nothing, right? So this scalability makes absolute sense. It's a scaling, not a growth, and that's a big difference. Growth is great, but scaling is better.
All right. And yeah, selling knowledge, it's repeatable, without additional effort. Okay. Well, that's pretty simple.
Agreed.
Okay.
Check.
All right. If we end this episode early, we'll just have to deal with that. Number 2, high profit margins. Once you've created your information product, the cost of production and delivery is usually low. This means you can enjoy higher profit margins compared to physical products or labor-saving services. See professors selling their textbook online.
Yeah. Well, the high profit margin is the key, right? It's not how much you earn, it's how much you keep, right? So if you were to sell a seminar and the seminar was held live, and you've got to get people there. You've got to do logistics. You've got to rent out a room. You got to figure out where the hotel is. You got to figure out where the car rentals are. You got to figure out blah, 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 blah. And then the food and everything else. You're selling that for X $1,000. How much of that do you actually get to keep? $200-300 at the end of the day, after you pay the marketing fees, the commissions to the sales guys, that, like, all the stuff that you got to pay for. Versus if I sold it for half price, $500 instead of $1,000, but it is now a course and a video and a book and a worksheet. Well, what's the cost to deliver that? There's no food, there's no catering, there's no logistics. It's just like, here's your thing, enjoy. The $500, I get to keep most of that $500, right? It's just my cost per acquisition at that point. So let's say it cost me $100 to bring a client in, I get to keep $400. That's 80% margin. Yes, please. So you should be doing both. Like there's a time and place where people need to meet in person. There's a time and place where people need to, do this thing, the old-fashioned style, shake hands, kiss babies, belly to belly. But
like on the boat, for example.
Like on the boat. But sometimes you can just do it like we're doing today over Zoom.
Right. And some people even prefer it that way, not to leave their house or meet people.
Well, they don't have to step in the snow and the cold and the rain.
Yeah. And the hydrocarbons in the atmosphere.
Weird smells and exactly. Weird smells. So the only weird smells you have to worry about are whatever's in your house. So
yeah. The smells you've gone nose blind to.
Yeah, there you go.
Just totally digressing here, but God, I love that. The Febreze
commercials
ad campaign cracks me up. Yeah, when they're like, you've got nose blind too. It's like, our product makes your house not stink. Oh, my house doesn't stink. Oh, yes, it does. Your nose blind friend. Like, it's a brilliant marketing campaign. I got to laugh at it because it's like, oh, no, you think your house doesn't smell? Oh, it totally smells. Just spray Febreze everywhere because you wouldn't believe how unbelievably smelly your house is, and you don't even realize it. Oh my God.
Yeah, we so there's this weird shop in Metrotown called Makers, and it's a bunch of just people who just make stuff, and you can just go in there and buy it. It's like a little market, but a bunch of people got together and rent an actual space. There's this soy-based espresso smelling candle that just is magic. And the hilarious thing is it's such a good, strong smell that you don't actually have to light the candle for it to work.
Oh my God.
And because of the way it's made, it just permeates the smell in the air. I'm like, this is wonderful. So there you go.
Well, that's a bad marketing strategy because it doesn't get used up if you don't have to light it.
Well, they don't tell you that. It's just figured it out.
I'm saying if you got to light it to get the smell, you use it up. You have to go buy another one.
Well, yeah, I got that. But when you light it, it smells even stronger and better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna milk the crap out of this thing. I'm just gonna open it up, leave it in my office here. Everything will smell nice like espresso. And then when that's not so good, I'll light it on fire. And then, hey, look, reactivate the smell and do it again. So I get two for the price of one.
All right. Okay, so number 3, exert positioning and authority. Oh, that's an interesting angle. Selling information products can establish you as an expert or thought leader in your field. When you share valuable knowledge and insights through your products, it can enhance your credibility and attract more customers to your brand.
Hilariously enough, absolutely. So we were just talking about the cake lady, right? So when people see her videos selling the cake things and they see the excerpts of the stuff, it gives you that weird as seen on TV feel. You know what I mean? So it's like, wait, I've seen her on a screen somewhere. It happens to be YouTube, but in your brain, we're still trained that, hey, man, that's TV, bro. So she's got it.
It's like there was a real estate agent. I think I told the story before. A real estate agent in my hometown of Richmond who sent out notepads. I think they might have had a magnet on the back of them.
Yeah.
And so his stupid face was always beside the phone. When you had a phone with a cable on it, you'd have a notepad by the phone to write stuff down. It was always on the fridge with the grocery list on it, or if my mom ever wanted to leave me a note, it would have his face on it. And one day the doorbell rings and I open the door. It's him. He's standing there right in front of me. What? You're that guy. So familiar with his face. So, of course, that was before phones and YouTube. So just being on a notepad was really impressive.
Right. There you go. But no, 100% agree. The expert positioning and authority, let's just say you're a mechanic, right? And you make a bunch of videos on YouTube of here's stuff that you can probably fix on your own. and people just see you fixing basic stuff, and you've even helped them once or twice. Like this makes a weird clunky noise, just do this, and the clunky noise goes away, and everything's fine. If you do these things when your car actually breaks down, and no YouTube video in the world is going to help you save this one, he's the guy you want to bring stuff to, because you're like, oh yeah, this is the guy.
That's the guy. So
Right?
I'll say two things on that. One thing I really like, I always remember when I'm doing sales, is nobody wants to talk to a salesman, but everyone wants to talk to an expert.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're really clever, they don't realize
Yeah,
they're actually talking to a salesman. They think they're talking to an expert.
well, that's what the expert positioning gives you and authority gives you, right? So there you go.
And okay, here's a question people might have. Here's the dumb question from the idiot. What about people that are concerned that they're giving away the shop, that they're giving away for free what they want to be selling to people?
But those, like the vast majority of people who are watching the videos, wouldn't have bought from you in the first place. Right? So you're not throwing away business, you're giving away goodwill. There's a difference, right?
Okay. But then, of course, we're also talking about productizing knowledge. You can be selling that knowledge anyway.
You can sell it,
You be giving it away for free.
Well, I'll give you another example one. There's a really cool website, I hope it still exists, called Baby Pips. And Baby Pips teaches you how to trade, either stock or Forex or whatever. It teaches you technical analysis on how to trade. And the entire, I don't know if this is still the case, but back when I was learning how to trade, the entire Baby Pips website, free. You can go through every course, everything, every module, absolutely free. But you had to sift through it. There was only a next and a previous button. It's like, okay, well, I gotta go next. Oh yeah, what was that thing again? That's like 17 nexts away. So, but if you paid, you would get the searchable version of it, and you could search for whatever the hell you wanted, and it would just make it easier for you to get to. So they gave away the entire course, the entire program, absolutely for free. There was a searchable version if you paid, and then there was a whole full-blown course if you wanted to pay more money and be handheld through it and learn more cool stuff. So it does everything, right? Like they got that, hey, this is real, because you can sample it all for free if you want it. Well, guess what? Anybody who's not going to pay you ain't going to pay you anyways, and they'll push the next button 17 times just to avoid paying you. You don't want that guy as your customer anyways, right? And the guy who wants to pay, I can't remember, 5, 10, 30 bucks for the course and just have a searchable format and have it nice and clean, and here's a bunch of stuff. Cool. That person, $30 saves them a bunch of time and effort and energy so they can get their thing. Awesome. And then people who want to then upgrade from there, it's because they know, like, and trust you, because they've gone through your materials and they've seen you teach, and they go, hey, they're the real deal. If this is what they give away for free, I wonder what the hell they make us pay for. Right? And that's it.
Nice. All right, well, let's see what some of the pitfalls are to avoid then. Oh, I can tell there's traffic trouble on the bridge. As soon as there's traffic trouble on the bridge, my street packs up back to back with cars. It's all jammed up out there.
So you're the leading indicator. That's one of the things they teach you in that Baby Pips thing.
Oh, leading indicator? Sure.
Leading indicator.
I'm the guy that phones the traffic stations.
There you go. If Dan Street gets full, then stuff's going down.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. All right, what are the pitfalls? There are pitfalls to avoid, says AI Overlord. Lack of validation. What does that mean? Before creating an information product, it's essential to validate your idea and ensure there's a demand for it. Skipping this step can lead to wasted time and resources on products that won't sell. That's interesting.
The sheer number of people who've made giant courses that no one gives a crap about is almost comical at this point.
I'm going to need examples because that sounds hilarious and tragic.
Well, there's this one guy who teaches hypnosis as an example, right? And he's a good hypnotist. He's good at what he does. He's excellent at his craft. But the problem was he made this entire course and no one gave two shits about it. Like, nobody gave it down. And
what was the course? How to hypnotize?
Well, there's bits and pieces of hypnosis, right? There's hypnosis on others, self-hypnosis, how to make yourself quit smoking. There's a million different ways and bits and bobs around this thing. And it turns out this course that he was so, passionate about, he's a hypnosis nerd. He's a geek in this space. He loves this stuff. So to him, it was fascinating as hell. To everybody else, no one else gave a crap. It was terrible because he spent all this time making this course to find out that no one cared. right? So this
Wow.
lack of validation, super important. So there's a really good book called The 4 Hour Work Week, right? And the 4 Hour Work Week, Timothy Ferriss, he talks about build a site and try to sell your thing before it exists. And if 0 souls click on the buy button, don't make it.
I got a product that's like that.
So yeah, that's all there is. The lack of validation, man. If no one cares, no one's gonna buy it. I don't care how skookum you think it is. It's what everybody else wants.
Yeah, I know a mutual friend of ours was selling those cans of bottled air from Whistler.
Oh dear Lord. Yes,
You remember that?
yes, I do.
Right.
I
And I started, he was telling me about this. I'm like, wow, do people want this? He's like, oh yeah, people want that. And I said, so what do you got? You got a guy on a mountaintop? You got a machine? What do you do? Like, I started asking him about the manufacturing process, and he kind of eventually sheepishly admitted, like, oh, we don't make the product. We're just trying to prove the value of it, and then we're going to sell the website to someone and they can make the product.
and then he did.
Did he?
For
Yeah.
$1,000.
How much?
30 grand.
All right.
So
Did someone
yeah,
make the product? Now I just need to know how they bottle the air.
they just went to Whistler and bottled Mountain Air.
With what? Like a
They
vacuum
videoed.
cleaner? What do you use?
I don't know how else do you compress air into a bottle? I don't know. Whatever they normally use to compress air into a bottle.
Right.
Anyway, some guy had that stuff, and they're like, "Hey, we live in Whistler. We want to buy this shit," and so they did.
Oh my God. It feels like compressing air into a canister would sort of make it chemically and kind of lose all the natureness of it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
So
Oh well. I could
yeah.
talk for hours about this. So okay. So what are some what are you some tips you would give then on how to do the validation process before you put too much time into it?
Literally, exactly what Timothy Ferriss said. Make a website that sells
Yeah.
your thing that doesn't exist. Spend $5 to $10 a day on ads, and if not a single you don't actually have this thing. It doesn't actually exist.
Mhm.
People click on it, and they actually click on the buy button. That validates your process. But what you do is when they click on the buy button to say, "Hey, sorry, we're sold out of this batch. Put your email here, and we'll get you in on the next one."
Hmm.
Right? Oh, I'm sorry, this class is full.
Right.
So if it's a class, oh yeah, the class is full. Sorry, we can't accommodate you. Yeah, we realize it's a bunch of videos and PDFs, but we actually answer questions and run group sessions and Q&As. We can't fit anymore. Otherwise, it won't be fair to the people who've already got in. If you're interested in this thing, put your name and email address here, and when our next batch is ready, we'll let you'll be first in line, and we'll let you know.
Hmm.
The trick is it doesn't exist yet. It doesn't. There is no previous class. There is no nothing. It's just you're telling them this. And if enough people sign up for this thing, make it.
That would have been great advice about 8 months ago, maybe a little longer, maybe a couple of years ago. A friend of mine is writing a self-help book,
Yes.
and I know nothing about the self-help space except that it's crowded, and you go to the self-help section of any bookstore, and it's just wall-to-wall people with self-help advice.
Yes.
So God bless him, he's charging ahead. He's very determined, but I have no idea. He may be wildly successful. He may not be, but if you'd said that to me 8 months ago, I would have said, "Hey, friend of mine, why don't we make a website and sell this book you're selling
Right.
first, and see if anybody bites on it before you spend the next year writing it to then find out."
Does anybody care? Right. That's the question. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
For all I
So
know,
the same-
lots of people might care.
Well, same thing as hypnosis guy. The product itself might be fantastic, but the way he pitches it might be terrible, right? So
Mhm.
it might be that you pitch it one way, but then you deliver something else. It still delivers them what they want, but not in the way that they expect it. So
Right. All right. Excuse me. Good tip. Second pitfall to avoid. Excuse me. Just wolf my dinner down before we started. Inadequate marketing. Even the most valuable information product won't sell themselves. Neglecting marketing and promotion can result in your product going unnoticed. Invest and effective marketing strategies to reach your target audience. As a person who sells marketing advice and strategies, I think this is a great tip.
So it's not the thing, it's the thing that sells the thing. It's not the thing, it's the thing that sells the thing. Right?
Explain.
So you could have the best product, but the worst marketing. Your competitor could have a lesser product than you. It's worse than yours by a factor of 10. If their marketing is 10 times better than yours, they will outsell your ass by a lot. And here's the terrible part. Even though they were more terrible than you, because they're outselling you 10 to 1, their company will have more money, which means that they will have more money that they can use on R&D, and they will eventually catch up to you. Now, the worst part is the worst company that does the better marketing and captures the more market share, they'll have so much money that eventually they might be able to buy you for a pittance. And this happened more times than I can count. I was sitting in my job, I was 19 years old, doing tech support, like high-end tech support, like NASA, Pentagon, Department of Defense kind of stuff. So some heavy stuff. And our competitor bought our company. Our competitor, who we were light years ahead, like it wasn't even close. If you compared our stuff to their stuff, our stuff was Einstein, their stuff was eating glue in a corner, right? It was that far different. It was so far different.
Your stuff was Einstein, their stuff was an idiot.
And here's the terrible part. They bought us. Because they had such good reach and such good marketing. So remember back in the day, I grew up as an engineer type. I was a computer science engineer, server tech. And I thought it's whoever had the best product would win. And I was very, very sorely proven wrong multiple times.
Yeah. Betamax would like to have a word with you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
I wonder how many of our people watching right now have no idea what Betamax is.
What a Betamax is? Yeah.
Don't Google it. If you want to comment, just say what you think Betamax is if you've never heard of it before without Googling.
Tell us. And tell us what your favorite movie on the Betamax was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we ground our copy of Ninja Turtles to dust. We just
Oh my god. You actually had a Betamax?
Oh yeah, we had a Betamax, and those suckers, like, they were really good machines. Like, this thing had like 6 to 8 hours on one tape, and so we actually had Ninja Turtles 1, 2, and 3 on one thing, and we would just power watch. Well, my sister would power watch this thing all day long till the cows came home. So there you go.
Oh my god.
So
all right, market. Don't think you're so smart that everyone's just going to come stumbling over to you for advice. You gotta let them know.
If you build it and they don't know you built it, they will not come.
Yeah. It's funny. There's that old adage of build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. Nope.
That's complete horseshit.
Build a better mousetrap and sell it to Edison will buy the patent off you and run you into the ground.
Nice.
All right. Now, what's a red hot tip to succeed in this space? This is according to AI. Okay. Emphasize value and quality. In the digital information market, quality is crucial. Ensure that your information product provides genuine value and address your audience's pain points. This will lead to positive reviews, word of mouth referrals, and long-term customer loyalty. Remember that success in selling information products often involves continuous learning and adaptation to changing market trends and customer preferences. Stay up to date and be willing to refine your products and marketing strategies to stay competitive and thrive in this space.
I would actually semi-agree, semi-disagree.
All right.
So where it says emphasize value and quality, everybody emphasizes value and quality. It's not a differentiator between anybody else. Ours is the best course because we said so. Great. So it's not necessarily value and quality, right? Because, I mean, that's a lower level expectation. So this to be a red hot tip, I disagree. This should be a basic, right? I would not consider this a red hot tip, and I would not consider this. I would not consider emphasizing of value and quality to be the thing, right? Because value and quality, I'm expecting that. If I buy a course and it's absolute garbage, I'll refund it, right? So if the value and quality aren't there, like, emphasizing value and quality, that ain't going to save you, right? So AI
Yeah.
can't do everything yet, and one of the things it can't do yet is sell. It can market sometimes, which is great if you use the right prompts and make it go, but it can't quite sell just yet. So
It has trouble innovating.
yeah. So the success in selling info is involving continuous learning. I agree with that part. The continuous learning. Here's the hilarious thing. You could have the same course, which is the same fundamental, salt of the earth materials. And if you pitch it 10 different ways, you've just refreshed the program all over again, found a whole new market for the exact same thing. So as long as the foundational element was half decent, right? Because that's what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
If I just pitch it different ways, guess what? You've made 10 million more dollars instead of just $1 million more. Right. So back in the day, we used to have this book that a business partner and I wrote. It was based on local marketing. And we made this local marketing for dentists. We took the exact same book, ripped out the cover, ripped out the front chapter, changed it to local marketing for chiropractors. Sold the exact same book. It was 90-something% the same.
Just Control F.
Yeah. So swap it out, change the title, change the cover picture. So instead of a dentist, it's a chiropractor. And then local marketing for lawyers. Local marketing is local marketing. There's not that many different things that you can do for local marketing, right? It's depending on the thing that you're doing. If it works for a lawyer, works for a dentist, works for a chiropractor, same book, right? All we did is we changed the thing in the beginning that helped us identify who this is solving. We identified all the same problems in the market, and then we found the same solutions that would solve for X. Like, I don't care who you are or what you do. Your business, if it's locally facing, needs some sort of Google Maps profile, period. So I don't care, you're the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, the dentist, the chiropractor, whatever you are. You need a Google Map thingy, so when people try to find you, they can find you.
Yeah.
So that chapter is the same. I don't care if you sell sex toys. It's the same thing, right? I need to get to your car dealership. Google Map, where are you? Can I find you on GPS? I'm driving to you now. How the hell do I get to you? I don't care what you sell. You could sell appliances. It's the same thing.
Right.
So there you go.
Okay.
So I agree, but disagree. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. But we agree that the long-term learning is important. Like, if you're going to be the knowledge leader in that space, you better keep up to date with any changes.
Well, you don't tell people to use newspapers and magazines anymore, right? Or if you tell people to use newspapers and magazines, make sure you're using a QR code. Make sure you're using a different phone number so you can track this crap. You can't use the old school newspaper or magazine methodology because of the way digital marketing can track stuff. You've got to use that hybrid of the two, right? It can't just be, let's put an ad in the paper and pray, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're incredibly good at this. You're always keeping up to date with the latest changes. I always think I'm up to date until I talk to you. That's why we called the show what we called it.
But that's part of my job, right? Like I have like 30 staff, and like they're always like, "Hey, how do we do this better?" I'm like, "I don't know." So I have to go look it up. I'm like, "Hey, do you know there's a tool that makes you do this 10 times as fast? Look, watch this." And then I have to make the SOP and then build it out and explain it to them and then train a new guy. And then, okay, look, hey, then we're 10 times faster than before. So we can handle 10 times more customers, and then it just grows, right? So there you go. But
this is why AppSumo loves you so much.
Oh yeah, I've spent, oh my god, too much money there. At least 10K on AppSumo. So there you go.
All right. Well, should we bring this thing in for a landing here? Let's have the.
It's time.
It's time. Hack of the week.
For the week. It's going to be a short.
First, I need a hack from somebody. No matter what I do with my lighting, it always corrects me to be pale looking. If I turn it up, it brings it down. If I turn it down, it brings it up again. I always come out looking pale. And I'm white, but I'm not that white.
Well, the guy who's coming, he's coming here soon, so I gotta get going soon. Is actually a lighting guy. So whatever he teaches me, I will teach you.
All right. I assume I don't think it's my lighting. I think it's something on Zoom that's auto-correcting that I need it to stop.
Oh, maybe, but I'm gonna learn how to use 3-point lighting soon, so I'll be all fancy in Hollywood. So
nice.
I'll look less like a terrorist in my basement. So anywho,
all right. So hack of the week.
What you want to do is you want to take the questions that are most frequently asked of you, the frequently asked questions in your business. I'm sure there's certain questions that just set you off like a rocket because everyone asks over and over again, and you just, your brain almost just goes blank and you go on autopilot. And just what you want to do is you want to turn those frequently asked questions into free content. And the reason is because it's the frequently asked question. They're going to ask you anyways. So here's the hilarious thing. I used to run a seminar, and at the seminar, I would teach stuff. And then I learned that if you use multimodal learning, people grasp onto it better, and they hold you more as an authority. So I used to just teach it with
multimodal. What's that?
So I used to just teach with slides, and I would just talk it through, and they would take their own notes. And then what I did was I started making a workbook, and the workbook would have the slides already there, and they could take deeper notes. And when I did that, they respected me as more of an authority. The hilarious thing was then I shot a video of me saying the same thing on a video. And so I would say it, make them go through the workbook, watch the video of me saying the same thing. And because this you were asking what multimodal is, there's multimodal. It's the same crap, just delivered in different ways. My authority went higher and they trusted me more. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? So the only thing I could have done probably better, and I'm saying this in jest, but if I just, put on a doctor's coat in the video and looked smarter, right? And instead of wearing glasses, I wore a monocle or something equally douchey. And it was just like,
stethoscope around your.
Yeah. He sounds smart. He's wearing a doctor's coat. He must be smart. Anyway, so turn your most frequently asked questions into free content, and then turn the questions that they should be asking into paid content. So that's your spin on the exact same thing. You've got these people asking these questions that you're answering for free on the internet. And then there's this question that they should be asking that you just tease to them. You go, hey, but the question you should actually be asking is this. And we cover that on page 37 of our course.
Of our very expensive course.
They'll buy the damn course because they're like, oh, crap, I didn't think of that one. Damn it. And then depending on what neurosis they have, it'll eat away at their brain while they try to sleep. And they'll be like, nope, it's keeping me up at night. I need to buy this thing now. So I'm just explaining my own self issues, right? So it's like, oh no, they showed me this thing and now I have to buy it. I hate illusionist.com, by the way. So
what's that?
Illusionist.com. They sell magic tricks.
Oh.
So they show the magic trick and they're like, that looks really cool. And it's like, you can have it for $47.95. I'm like, do I really need to know how that works for $47? 3 days later, I'm buying the stupid thing. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so, I think we're like that way. And then when I don't know something, it bothers me. I got to find it out.
And sometimes the voices in the head 3 days later say, buy the damn magic trick because you need to know how that floats on the escalator. Like, and then you see it, and you're like, damn it!
It was really simple the whole time.
Yeah.
I remember the great quote is, magicians guard their secrets not because they're interesting, but because they're boring.
Yes, absolutely. And the hilarious thing is, I've already been through the cycle a couple of times. It breaks my heart every single time. Sometimes, it's better just not knowing, because then the illusion, the magic, believing in the magic is so much more beautiful than it is knowing the actual trick. It's like, oh, really? That's it? Oh, so there you have it.
Nice.
Alrighty. Well, we actually managed to squeeze the show into 45 minutes. That was magic.
Yeah, that was impressive. I think we're all wrapped up.
While doing the search for it and not knowing what we were talking about 3 minutes before the show.
God bless AI.
Oh, we love you, AI overlords. If we haven't said it enough, please eat us last. So
yes, you can toil in your underground silicon mines.
There you go. All right. So shall I play us out? Or you gotta get
do it. Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Earl. Thank you to AI overlords. And
thank you, Dan.
Until next week.
Fun. All right, here we go. Play us out.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.